So the first link is a link to our YouTube channel, which is where you'll be able to watch all of the recordings. Second link is to our regional Facebook page, which is where you'll be able to see any upcoming 12 days of command sessions. Again, tomorrow will be the final one, tomorrow at 10 a.m. But also follow us on Facebook, because that's where we'll post any upcoming regional events or training that we'll have as well. And then the final link that I dropped in chat is what we're going to be covering today, which is how to create a saved search for a contact. So again, my name is Cydne Seymour, and I see a lot of familiar faces here today. So thank you guys for continuing to show up for the 12 days of command. My name is Cydne Seymour. I'm the regional technology trainer for the KW Carolinas region, a labs advisor and a KWU approved instructor, and really excited to spend the next 30 minutes or so with all of you. So today we're going to be talking about saved searches, which is something really, really fantastic that you can do in command that sometimes I find a lot of agents are not aware that you can do that. So excited to share this with you guys today. And then since this is the 12 days of command, we'll start with a little 12 days question. And so here's my question for you. My question is, have you got all of your gifts? Are you done? Are you ready to go? Is everything wrapped? Are you 100% ready? Just drop a yes or no in chat, or I see some thumbs up. I'm jealous of all of you that are done. I feel like I have a couple things left that I need to do, just last minute stuff. Okay, so done and wrapped. I'm impressed, you guys. So we're getting a couple no's. Thankful for Amazon, I'm sure, or purchase online, pick up at the store. That's been a real treat for me. Sharon going out today. All right, well, I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday season. It's been nice to spend some time with you during the 12 days of command. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk all about the saved search feature today, which is really fantastic. And just so I can have somewhat of an understanding of who we have in the room and your comfort level around this. If you guys can just drop a yes or no in chat for me, have you used the save search feature under a contact before in command? Just yes or no. I'm just pulling up my chat on the other screen I have here. Oh my gosh, a lot of no's. Okay. I think this is something that you're really going to like. So I don't know about you guys, but sometimes for me, it's easier for me to kind of understand how to use command if I really have like a best use situation or some sort of scenario. So before we jump into how to use this, because it is so easy to set up, I want to talk about maybe when we would use this and perhaps when we would not use this. So if you've ever had, maybe you were holding an open house and a buyer came in and they said, we love the house. However, we really need a dedicated office space, and this doesn't have that. And while we're looking for a home, we're still probably like 3 to 6 months out. A lot of times we might have those buyers that want to save some additional money for a down payment. They're renting right now. Drop in chat for me. What's the #1 reason you're hearing right now that buyers are waiting? So if you were to meet a buyer today, what's the #1 thing that you're kind of hearing in this market of maybe why a buyer is not potentially purchasing right now? So let's just see what, okay, there's nothing to buy. So that's what we're seeing. Okay, Melissa, yeah, they want prices to go down. So we have some buyers that feel like I don't necessarily want to buy at the peak of the market, which is what they're thinking it is. Better price, too competitive. Okay, so yeah, they're losing bids or it's too competitive. They don't want to have to deal with that. They're just getting kind of worn out from it. Sometimes we might hear from some buyers that it's because of a reason that has to do with themselves. So I don't know about you, but sometimes we hear, I want to wait until the school year as we get closer to that. So I'm moving somewhere else and I don't want to take my child out of the school that they're currently in. They might be currently renting and they want to wait until that rental agreement is up. Again, might be saving money for a down payment. So there's all of these reasons why buyers are potentially saying, I'm not really ready right now. I wanted to talk about that because when I talk about this feature that we're going to go into today, the #1 question that I get is, should I use this instead of the MLS? And I'm going to say sometimes yes, sometimes no. So hear me out on that. The MLS is the most frequently updated. And we all know, like when there's a new listing, it goes into the MLS and it is there immediately. One of our big things that we've been working on at Keller Williams is that speed of the second that a listing is entered into MLS, it then showing up into command. And at this point, we're probably at like a 15 to 30 minute window, which I know doesn't seem like a lot of time. However, in today's market, 15 to 30 minutes can be a long time. So what I kind of recommend is if you have a buyer that you are physically showing property to right now, we might continue to use MLS. If you have a buyer that is a month out, 3 months out, 6 months out, a year out, or they're like, I don't even know if we ever want to buy. However, if a home came up on the market and it was on this lake and it was in this price point, we might consider looking at it, because we sometimes have those buyers as well. So what's really nice about this is when we talk about marketing to people in your sphere, we know that we really want to do that one-to-one marketing rather than that one-to-many. Meaning, here's things that you're interested in versus here's all of the homes in North Carolina and what they sold for. Here's all of the homes in South Carolina and what they sold for. And so the saved search allows you to really have that one-to-one relationship with them. So let's talk about how we can set up a saved search for anyone in your database. So all I've done so far, just prior to setting up this call, is I logged into Command. So I logged into Command by just going to agent.kw.com, entering a username and a password that's going to give you access into Command. And then remember, over on the left is where we're going to have all of the different applets for Command. Now, if I'm not familiar with the applets, I can click on that red box at any time. It's going to open up that window, and then I'm able to see the names of all of the applets. What we're going to talk about today is actually under contacts. So setting up a saved search lives under contacts. So the first thing that would have had to have happened is we would have to enter a contact into Command. We then have them into Command and we can set them up on a search. Now, I can come in here and I can search by the name, or what this is really good for you guys, here's like a little bit of a pro tip for you, is if you've run a Facebook ad around a specific neighborhood or a specific area, the leads that you then get in, do the phone call first, do the text message, whatever smart plans you want to do. But if I know I just created an ad for Uptown Charlotte and I had all of these leads that came in from this ad, go into those leads and set them up on this save search, because they clicked on that ad, they must be interested in that area. So we can come in and set them up here very, very easily. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to use myself as an example. And I encourage you guys, if you have yourself in here as a contact, which I recommend that you do, go in and set yourself up on this search. And so you can see how it comes across so that you're comfortable with the way that it looks and you know exactly what your consumers are getting. So I'm going to come in, I'm actually going to pick test client right here because I have a bunch of stuff under my own name. So I'm going to come right in here to test client. And you'll notice when I'm looking at test client here, where we're going to go and hang out today is over here on the right under saved searches. So again, all I've done so far is gone into the contact, and then over on the right, I've got saved searches. Now you'll notice I have a little 2 next to that. That means that I currently have a saved search set up for this client, actually 2 of them. So I'm going to go into my saved searches. I'm going to see the name of my saved search, and I'm going to see if I wanted to edit any of those or delete those, I could do that. However, most of you guys said that you've never used this feature before. So when we go into a contact, you're probably going to see that you have saved searches and you have none set up. So we would go right here into create a saved search, and we would set up a new saved search. So we'll do this for whoever can drop their zip code in chat first. We'll actually pull it up for that one. So you guys just drop your zip of wherever you work into chat. Okay, Mark was quick on the draw there. You guys are seeing these zip codes. So if you need referral business or referral partners in those zip codes, make sure you pay attention to who's here bettering themselves. And maybe that's someone you'd want to send a referral to. So up here under location, I have the ability to search by neighborhood or by zip code. I'm going to choose zip code, and then I'm going to enter a valid zip code. So I'm going to do 27612. Give that just a moment. And then you'll see down here under results, we're just going to click on that zip code. And then we've got that zip code right there. If we entered an incorrect one, or that's not the one we want to do, we can just click that X right there and it removes that zip code. Now down here is where I can enter some property criteria. So what's the price? What's the minimum or what's the max I want to go to? So as you start to have those buyers that are like, well, we don't want to go anywhere above 400,000, or we're not comfortable over 300, whatever it is, we can choose to enter as much or as little as we would like here, with just the understanding that if I'm not entering any criteria, it's going to show them a whole heck of a lot of property that might be out of their price range, just an understanding of that. I actually created one of these for someone. It's called like dream home search, right? Because as we were having conversations, they said, well, if we could ever swing it, like our dream would be to have property here, and this is the price. So we could do that for anybody here. Under keywords, we can put any sort of keywords here. Now, just a note about that. These are keywords that have to be entered into the public remarks. So as you're going in and you're entering MLS details, it will scan or read from that. So just a note that we want to make sure we're not kind of funneling that search too much if we're entering keywords that are potentially not there. Let's say that they did want a pool. What we have to do is enter a comma in between each of them, or I'm sorry, just hit enter. And then you'll see down here, it pulls that pool into it. So if a pool is important to them, they could do that. Take that off because we'll say we don't need that. Underneath here is where we can choose the property type. If they say we just want a house, we don't want a condo, don't want townhomes, we can come in, click off anything that we would like. Make sure we're taking a look at listing status, because by default, pending is there. So if this is truly an active buyer that's really looking, we want to make sure we're not doing that. However, let's think of this for sellers. What if we went in and we have someone that's like, yeah, we're kind of thinking of selling. What if we went in and just actually did a search for active and pending for them as well, and they could start to see that information? Bedroom count, bath count, year built, and then living area, square feet. Has parking, open house. We can also do anything that's been a price reduction or had a price reduction within the last 7 days. So we can set that up as well. So some really nice functionality there. So again, once we've come in, we've entered all the details that we want here, which you can choose to enter or choose to just throw it out there, all the houses or all the properties here. We're going to go to next. Under here, we're going to give this saved search a title. Now, I know nobody would ever do this. However, know that whoever you're sending this to is going to see the name of the saved search title. So we're never going to name this grumpy person that came through the open house saved search, right? So we're going to name this whatever it is, with the knowledge that you might set them up on multiple saved searches. So this might be like Charlotte Lake House. We might have vacation rental. We might have all of these different things. You can save it whatever you'd like. So we'll say 12 days of command is what we're going to save this one as. And then this is just confirming to you rather, that this is the email address that this is going to be sent to. If this isn't correct, or they've said, actually use this email for that, we would need to go in and edit the contact. So we can't edit that here. We would need to edit that under the contact record. And then we've got this nice little toggle down here that says, do we want to send email notifications? And we can toggle that on or off. And then it opens up this menu of the frequency for saved searches. So we do have the ability to send instant. Now I want to mention this because it's very important. Instant truly means instant. So if 7 new homes came on the market today that match this search criteria, this person would get 7 emails. There are some buyers that would be okay with that and would want that. But just to note that that's going to mean the second something comes up, they're going to get that email, again, within that 30-minute window here. A daily summary is going to be at 9 o'clock Central Time, which is 10 o'clock East Coast. A weekly summary is going to be every Monday at 10. A bi-weekly is going to be every other Monday, again at 10 a.m. And then a monthly summary is on the first of the month, again at 10 a.m. I really like the weekly summary. I find it's just not too much and we don't see unsubscribes from that. I think this is also really nice as we're potentially doing open houses or virtual open houses, and we're getting a lot of those or hosting a lot of those on the weekend. And then we just come in here and immediately that email is going to go out Monday morning for any neighborhood or area that they were interested in. And then, excuse me, once we've come in and determined that frequency, all we're going to do is click on the button right down here that says create, save, search. You'll see 12 days of command created by yourself. Now, let's say I realize, oh, I went in and I did that incorrectly and I need to make some changes. I'm going to click on the edit, and at any time, maybe I say, oh, I didn't enter pricing and I wanted to, their max is like $350. I'm going to come in and make those changes, hit next, save that search again, and you'll see the price shows there. Bed will show here as well. So if at any time your buyer or your client or anybody says, I actually want to make some changes on the save search, you can come in here and edit at that at any time. If they say, I no longer need that save search, or we've kind of moved on to looking somewhere else, I can also come in and delete that. So trash will let you delete, pencil will allow you to edit that. Now, let's talk about the first email that goes out. The first email that's going to go out to this particular client is going to come across and it's going to say your agent, and then it's going to have your name, has set you up for a saved search. It will say 12 days of command, and it will have all of the parameters that you entered. The only thing that they have to do once is basically opt in to those emails. So you might just want to share with them the first email that you're going to get when I set you up on a saved search is going to be this email. All you have to do is say, yes, I'd like to opt in. Then the automation happens. So we're just making sure all's good with that, protecting you guys as the agent. Let's talk about what the emails look like when they come across. So I went in and sent myself this the other day from my husband's website. It will be branded to you at the top right here. It would have, hi, Cydne, your client's name. There are updates to your saved search. This is the name of the saved search that you may be interested in. I'd love to hear what you think about these homes. And as always, don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. None of this can be changed. So the intention with this is it's very go in, set it up, it automatically runs itself. Here's what's really cool about this saved search though. I can click right here and say view your saved search. And then what you'll notice is this is actually taking me to the agent's website. So by using these saved searches, you're actually increasing engagement and increasing traffic to your website. So this is pulled everywhere from your website. They will have a login that they've basically created, and they'll be able to come in here and they'll be able to say, I love this house. And then as long as they were logged in, which they would be, you would actually see that. So under the contact record, you would see that they favorited this house. You would see that they viewed this house. You would see everything that they're looking at. You would see all of the engagement. They can ask your agent right here. They can schedule a video tour. So this is really powerful because we're sending them directly to your site, not to a third party site, not anywhere else, excuse me, where they can view all of these properties, save, look at that feed. They can see all of the details there. Now, if I go back to the email, you'll see it's going to show me the new properties. I can see all the information here, price and status updates, because I do have pending in here as well. And then I can view my saved search down here as well. So again, you could send this to them. The frequency is up to you, but always this is going to pull from your website, which is just really, really powerful that it's going to do that. Now, let's say that they're looking at your website. Let me just log into this. Let's see if I know my login for this. All right, so you'll notice once they've logged in, they've actually got up here where they can see those saved searches. So I actually have myself set up on like 2 or 3 saved searches here. So I can see, okay, what's my dream home search? And it takes me directly to, so I don't have to come in and enter the details again. It's basically tracking that. And then if I say, oh, I like this one, I'm going to heart that one. And then I can even leave a note about the home. So I can say, love the layout. And then you'll see all of that through command. You will also get a notification through your command app that a person has logged into your site. So you'll also see that as well. So what's really powerful here is we're not sending them to a third party. We're not sending them somewhere else. We're sending them to your website, because let's say that they come in and they're like, yep, I love this house. They can actually share this with anyone by just clicking on the share link, and then it copies that link. They could text it, they could email it to anybody. And then we're just, again, continuing to track engagement here. I see a great question in the chat. Where do you see where they looked? Melissa, that's a great question. So if I go into a contacts timeline, you'll be able to see here, I don't have any under mine because I'm on a different website, but I'll be able to see under the activity, I'd see if they favorited a listing, I'd see if they searched a neighborhood, I'd be able to see all of that directly underneath the contact. And then let me go back to contacts and show you one of my favorite features that we have here is this recently active column. So when I'm looking at all of my contacts, I can sort by recently active, and it will show me anybody that's been on my website or my consumer app. So I can sort by this at any time to see in real time who's searching, who's favoriting, anything like that. And then I'll see all of that again under the contact record right there. Yeah, really nice stuff that we're able to see all under here. The other thing I want to mention about saved searches, you guys, is I want you to remember that you can do this anywhere across the country. So let's think about how we can really use that to our advantage. So let's say that we had someone that was selling their home locally. So maybe you work in Columbia, and they were selling locally in Columbia. And then once they sold there, they were moving to Atlanta. You could actually come in. Remember that you have a national MLS feed through your Keller Williams website. So we could actually come in, we could create a saved search. We could pull up the neighborhood or a zip code. So we could do that for Atlanta anywhere across the country. So maybe they were moving to Beverly Hills. They're moving to the fabulous 90210. We can come in and pick that zip code. We can enter whatever we want here. We could name this, right, 90210 home search. And so you could start them on the home search, which what we generally see greatly increases the chance that you're going to get a referral on them finding that home wherever they're moving to. So we could do this anywhere across the country, and then we could use referrals to find a fantastic Keller Williams agent that we could put them in touch with. But you're starting the process, because I don't know about you, but has this ever happened to you that you sell a home with someone and they're like, gosh, you were so fantastic. I really wish that you could help us in Atlanta or in California or in Texas. And you can, right? You're not necessarily licensed, but you could refer the business there. So remember, you can do this anywhere across the country, and then international is coming very soon. We're just working out agreements with international MLS feeds there. So really nice capability there. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking myself and just open it up to see. I'm just looking at chat just to see if there's any questions from anyone on anything we've discussed. So here's what I do want to hear from you guys, because I think if we can leave this with like a little bit of an action, do me a favor and drop in chat. How many contacts do you have in your head that you're going to go in and set this up for right now? So just drop in chat. How many contacts do you have in command that you can just think of right now that you might go in and set up this saved search for? So just drop, let's see what everybody's numbers are coming up with in chat that we could set up a saved search for them. Because again, what's really powerful is it pulls from your website, not from Juan. That must be how many people you have in your database. I love that. So Juan's going to do this for everybody because everybody wants to know about houses, right? We see the traffic on Zillow or third-party sites. There's no reason why that traffic couldn't be on your website. It's just that sometimes we need to let them know where to go. And this is a really nice way to do that. So again, just in closing, you guys, just a couple best uses for this. After every open house, this is what I would do for anybody that you've got contact information in. If they signed in or they gave you information and you know where they're looking, I would immediately set them up. Again, this doesn't have to be daily or either weekly, just depending on their timing. So open houses, this is big. Facebook leads that come in, this is really big. They clicked on an ad in a specific area, just delivering that one-to-one, and then watching, right? How often are they looking at it? And then maybe that's a reason to reach out. And then again, sellers that might be selling in your specific market and moving to a different area, just a nice way to increase that referral handoff percentage with anybody. All right. Well, that's it for the day. This was day 11. Thank you guys to everybody for being here. As a reminder, the final day will be tomorrow, and it will be all about the Command app. So if you have not downloaded the Command app yet, you want to make sure that you do that prior to the session tomorrow, because we'll be talking and diving into that. So just make sure you download that. It is available on iPhone and Android as well. So have that with you, and we'll be talking about that for the final day. So thank you guys so much for being here. Pleasure to spend some time with you, and have a great rest of your day.